Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rift Amps. Okay, so orange news. It is on the bench, reassembled, resistor replaced, everything connected back up. We're currently getting 20 volts. There you go, it's fluctuating slightly. Volts output into 8 ohms, which puts us 20 times 20 divided by 8 gives us 50 watts, so it's bang on. I'm just going to give it a soak test, and then we'll give it a play test. I've set the bias, but we'll check that again once it's had a couple of hours burning in. Got to check the tremolo and all those types of things. Give it a good service, and then I think, if there's no other issues, this one is done. Fender SUPERSONIC 60, do you remember from the bonus footage last week? This one's come in. A customer would like some modifications doing to it, some mods that he's found online. Full disclaimer, I can't remember if I've done these mods to one of these amps before. I may have done, but I can't remember. But here we go. Anyway, there's an old Premier Guitar article in the old Ask Amp Man feature where a customer has an early SUPERSONIC 60 and would want some changes made to it. And from the reading I've done, apparently it's a really good improvement. So I think it's a good idea to go ahead and get those done. He said, if you want your older SUPERSONIC to sound like the new model, the first model was designed in 2005 and the updated model was designed in 2009. The later model has some tonal improvements which you can have done to the amplifier. And we're going to go through that. I think most of them are simple revoicing things and tweaks, just to make each of the channels either play better, sound better, or I guess just make them sound more vintage in certain scenarios. It's mainly replacing some components and things like that. 7 steps to do that, so we'll go through and do that. That's all the customer wants me to do. He hasn't asked me to engineer anything or to design any tweaks and mods. He just wants these 7 different mods there are. He wants those done, and then he said then give it a listen, see how vintage it sounds, whether it's more like a Vibrolux or something like that, and then go from there. But to be honest with you, it's so subjective. I'll do the mods, we'll get the amplifier back up and running and tested. Standard things like, check the bias, stuff like that, make sure it's running well. I mean, the output valves, slight discoloration, but nothing too much. So we'll give it a full health check as well. And then he can take it away and try it and tell me what he thinks. And then if he wants further changes doing to it, that's the way we'll go. But yeah, it's quite an easy, here's a list, get on with it. So let's get cracking. Right, so mod number 1. The first change in the schematic occurs at C2, capacitor number 2. The original version uses a 2N2 or a 0.0022 microfarad cap. The later model uses a value up to 0.0033 or a 3N3. In the combo version, this change causes a bit more of a full range signal to be sent to the burn channel. Right, so the original had the 2N2, the later version 3N3. So I've got the knobs and nuts off so we can pull the front board off. Here's C2. You won't see this on camera, but it is showing as a 2N2. So confirm that we are on an earlier amp. And so far everything is correct. And if I look at the schematic for the original amp, there it is, C2, a 0.0022. We're going to change that to a 0.0033. Right, so that cap's changed. Now the next one is C7, which is this disc cap right behind the volume control. Is it volume or is it gain? It's volume. And stock is 120 picofarad. There it is on the schematic, C7. And we're going to change that down to a 47 picofarad, which I have right here. What does that do? Well, according to Jeff, C7 originally was 120 picofarad cap. This causes less brightness at lower volume settings in the Vintage Channel's Vibrolux mode, and which sounds like a good mod to me. So we'll get that one in, and then we'll move on. I'm not going to film all of these mods because it'll take a while. Mod number 3, we'll do it now. Next we finally change it C11 and R22, so capacitor 11, resistor 22. Original values were 3M3 and 10 picofarad respectively. That's kind of standard reverb mixer for, or reverb bypass network for Fender style amp. In the newer model, these are changed to a 1M5 and a 330 picofarad. This change increases both the level and frequency range of the signal being fed to the subsequent gain stages of the amp. In Jeff's opinion, this change probably has the largest impact on the amp's sound. If you're simply looking for more out of the Vintage Channel, this would be the change to make. So that sounds quite good actually. So, what did he say? C11 and R22. C10, C20, God, it's going to take a while. There's R22, there they go, these two here. Disc cap on the end, and that 3M3 there. So those are going to be changed out as well. Right, I'll come back when those two mods have been done. Whoops, kind of skipped ahead a bit. I forgot to film the rest of the mods, but it's all back together. Also reset the mains voltage to 240 volts for the UK. Set the bias, given it a soak test, it's all good. So just running a loop into it so I can run you through what the amp's doing, how it sounds. I don't know if that came across on camera, but I think it sounds great, or at least much better than it did. Sorry I didn't give you a before, but yeah, much better. The Vibrolux channel still quite bright, so that might be something further to look at, but it's going to be up to the customer what he wants to do. Things I have noticed, some of the preamp valves are ever so slightly noisy, microphonic, nowhere near the point where you actually change them, but they are starting to get a bit tired, you can hear that. But the reverb sounds good, all the controls do what they've done. The mods that we've done seem to have definitely improved the amplifier overall. It's just whether the tonal changes are going to be pleasing to the customer or if he prefers the way it was before. So that's going to be up to him. So stick the back panel on and then give him a call. He can come collect it. Right, so orange is running on the bench. Bias has been set. It's had a couple of hours soak testing now, so it's been okay so far. I've checked the bias, it's all good. I've connected up a loop station, so we're going to run a loop through it. Running into the second channel, all EQs at noon. That's my reverb control. I've just hooked up the original reverb tank because I haven't got that spec on the shelf. And you can hear got a bit of a weird connection there, so we need to fix that. And I wonder if that was the cause of that burning up. But if I run a loop through it, no reverb. Right, so all I've done is I've just grounded the tremolo circuit, so the tremolo has now come on. If I turn it off, it turns off, and on again, and reverb off. I think we've got speed and depth, so we're going to try both of those. See if we can get the tremolo to work. No, so all it does is just when you turn the depth control up full, just switches the whole thing off. It just lowers the volume, actually, sorry, that's what I should be saying. But that's not pulsating, and it should be. We should be seeing that click, so we need to, I can turn the circuit on and off. If you see it, it does pulse for a little bit, and it kind of goes fully solid. So speed, you can see it pulses for a couple of seconds, and then it kind of stabilizes and does its thing. So there's obviously a fault in the tremolo circuit as well, so that's another thing to look at. But I think as I mentioned before, this is a transformerless reverb circuit, and I think our faulty tank and that feedback that you heard is causing an oscillation in that circuit and caused that resistor to burn up. So we need to be pulling this tank and having a look. Looking at this reverb tank, I don't see much wrong with it. I'll be honest with you. It's a 4FB 2A1C. I think I've got a 2A1B that might work, but there's not actually anything wrong with it. I think it's just dirty connectors. So perhaps we try giving it a clean first. cleaning everything up, trying that again, see if we can do a no parts required repair on that. Very interesting though. Right, tank connections cleaned and tensioned, and as you can hear, we're not getting those awful connection noises now. But we have introduced a hum into the circuit, which if I disconnect the tank and so on. Now it's before the master volume, because I turn the master volume down, the hum goes away. So it might just be that the circuit is now, just because it's all open, there's no shielding going on, that we've now got a hum. So I need to reassemble everything back into the cabinet before I can confirm that. But I don't want to do that yet, because I've still got to look at this tremolo problem. So I'm going to have to come back to this tomorrow, because I've got other jobs to be getting on with, but we are making progress, which is a good thing, finally. So it's Tuesday today, glorious day outside, beautiful, and I am today back on that Ainsley build. I've just done the what's the word? The preamp bus that goes along the pots, and I've dropped the board in and I've started wiring up the preamp. So that's what I'm doing today. Spoke to the cabinet builder yesterday. Cabinet for this should be with me early part of June, as is current lead and delay times at the moment. So I've got a bit more time than I thought to get this finished, but I still want to get it done. So that's where we are with that. Good news on the orange. If I can find the iPad. Oh no, it's over here. Is the orange themselves, God bless them, found the actual schematic for the amp. They found a paper copy and they scanned it into a computer and they emailed it to me. It's actually for the 100 watt, but the preamp is the same. The burnt resistor was indeed a 4K7 1 watt. So I've put, obviously that's the one I've replaced. So we're all good on that front. And I've just been going through, basically the amp's running fine now, is what I'm trying to say. Apart from the tremolo, that's the only thing we've got to diagnose on it. So, but big thank you to John up at Orange. Great help to actually get the proper schematic for the amp, which is, you know, perfect, so I can see exactly how it's meant to be. There are a couple of things that are slightly different, but it's not the end of the world. It's just, you know, minor revisions over the years, things like that. So now, why did that resistor burn up? Now, I did find a forum post that said the reverb driver should be an ECC82, which is indeed what this schematic shows. But what I've seen from other examples online is that the people are running ECC83s. And when you run that valve, you can see a high frequency oscillation. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back to the valve that this amp is intended for. The other one was the phase inverter as well, should also be an 82, a 1287, and in this it's an 83, so I don't know what's happened over the years, but we're going to run this as it's meant to be, and I bet it's going to perform much better. Okay, so Ainsley build update for you. All of the preamp side, sorry, the socket side has been wired up. Same with the pot side. Done all my grounds. Done my output transformer connections. I've just got the rest of the mains transformer wiring to do. I've got the heaters. I've got the on-off switch. I've got the what do you call it? IEC socket. Safety earth to do. And and then I've just got the final 2 signal wires, and then I can fire it up. Need to give it a bit of a tidy up as well. So this is actually Thursday afternoon. I'm only in for half a day tomorrow, so I need to get this filmed today, so you've all got something to watch. So that is the Ainsley build progress. Quite happy with it this week. So that is it. That's where we're at. I'm off to Silverstone on Friday afternoon for a bit of testing, and then I'm not racing on Saturday. I'm going to help some friends who are racing. So they're doing a 2-hour endurance race on the Grand Prix circuit, one of my favourites, so I'm going to go help them out. But yeah, in terms of guitar amps, that's us for the week. Orange is still on the bench, still fighting it, still trying to get this thing fixed. So you saw the Supersonic, that's been collected and gone. And then there was... Oh, I need to look at that Hot Rod Deluxe next week. I did briefly have another look at it this week, but I haven't made much progress on it. Thankfully the customer's been quite patient, but I've got so many other small little jobs to do, plus amp builds. I've also got that Deluxe Reverb, Deluxe 22 thing to get rebuilt and finished. So yeah, I'm treading water, not treading water. I'm swimming against the current a little bit. So, but that's where we are. Anyway, hope you all have a lovely weekend. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comments down below, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when we post more videos. And if you hang around for a couple more minutes, there will be some more bonus footage for you. I shall see you all next week.